Love, light, peace, and abundance, y'all. I'm back again for another episode of Poetry Unraveled. And I didn't even realize I didn't put my headphones on. There we go. I'm back for another episode of Poetry Unraveled. I guess I don't know. I just want to make sure that y'all can hear me clearly, which is why I wear the headphones. So just for tonight, I'll make sure that I figure out another way for the next time. However, nevertheless, we're back. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be before you once again to share my thoughts, poetry unraveled. And today is a Thursday, December 12th, 24, which I thought was pretty dope. The synchronicity of the date. It's my will that you had a phenomenal day, productive and high vibrational. I had a positive and productive day as well. And I looked forward to recording today's episode and sharing space with you all. So let me get right into it. I went to a poetry event yesterday. It was an open mic night out here. And it was a few things that took place that I experienced that I kind of want to talk on and elaborate and expand. And I do have a poetic selection that I will be sharing with you all at the end of the episode. So stick around so you can hear. And it's a new piece that I have not openly shared as of yet. And it hasn't been published anywhere as of yet as well. So stick around for the new piece. Um, so, yes, poetry event. So, one of the things that I want to speak about is the beauty and the variety of expression, right? Poetry is one of those artistic mediums that I feel like it's so much variety that it's like it's like a diamond with so many facets to it, right? You admire the beauty of the diamond by you moving it and the light reflecting, and you can see all of the facets, right? I feel like poetry is an artistic medium that is similar to that principle because there's so many different expressions of how you can share your art through poetry. And last night was a beautiful display of that. There were so many different artistic expressions, so many ideas were expressed, and there were a lot of vulnerable pieces that were shared with the crowd. And at this particular venue, on this particular day, it is usually welcoming of the vulnerability of the artist, which is always great for us, the artists, to be in a room with people who are receptive to that vulnerability and aren't just like looking at you like you got three heads. If you're a poet, you know what I mean. If you're any kind of artist, I'm sure you can relate at one degree or another. However, it was very welcoming. I had every intention on signing up for the open mic. However, there was a conflict in my schedule where I had to get my daughter to and from her doctor's appointment. So I got there late. And by the time I got there, it's a popular open mic. By the time I got there, the list was beyond, it was beyond full. Um, so I got to simply bask in the art and the beauty of the night and really be present, and that's what I received in the experience. At first it was like a little disappointment, just a little bit, just a little bit, because it has been, well, you don't know, excuse me, it's been about 6 months since I performed at that venue, and it's been some months since I've actually done an open mic. I'm not sure if it's 6 months. Um, if I want to say, here go me and those details again, about 4 to 6 months to be reasonable, without me double checking it. I feel like it's been 4 to 6 months since I've been at that location. And I know it's been at least 4 months since 2 to 4 months since I've been on an open mic. Actually, it's longer than two. I'm going to stick by four, since I actually been to an open mic. I have performed. I've been on the lineup for different events since then or during this time. However, I haven't been on an open mic. So needless to say, I was excited. I was excited to get on the open mic list and, be up there with my other camaraderies, However, I was able to quickly get past that and just accept the natural flow, like the divine flow of everything. And I didn't meet a sister, having really great conversation. And it was a great night overall. I seen a lot of familiar faces. So it was great to be back out in the energy again. And one of the poets that stood out to me, or one of the poems that stood out to me, was a poem where one of the poets, she was expressing the idea about what is experienced in the poetry scene. I'm assuming out here, because she's from out here, right? It wouldn't make sense for her to write about somebody else's area, but nevertheless, um, I would be a little silly tonight, so just rock with me, y'all. And I got my tea too, and it's one of my favorite. It's honey chamomile, sweetened with grade A maple syrup, the real maple syrup, the good for you maple syrup. The tea is so delicious. It is so freaking good. However, and it's really hot too because I just made it. However, right. So the poem that she spoke about was pertaining to what is experienced in the poetry community, and there's a lot of bias that take place in the poetry community, and are different poets that appear to be more concerned about the affluence, the rewards, the benefactors, or the benefits of being a well-known poet versus the effect or impact that one has as being a poet. And this is all of what she's saying in the poem. Is these are the ideas. I'm just expressing it in my own way. She also spoke about the idea of poets being more concerned about their views on social media. And she also spoke about, there are some of us that have been called, we're on assignment from the Most High. And we're out here like planting seeds and like um, activating people and like inspiring life and reconnecting people to the Most High, whereas others are doing it for their own selfish reasons, right? And then she also spoke about the curators and how, some of the larger platforms, they post some of the same poets over and over again when they have like a bunch of footage of other poets that aren't as well known, however, are talented. She even spoke about the idea of like poetry competitions and how can you say that one person's talent is better than the other person's talent, or their gift is better or greater than the other person's gift. So she was like really, the name of the poem was No Shade, No Tea, something something poetry. Excuse me if you ever watched this for me not remembering. However, the first part of it was no shade, no tea, just poetry or something like that. And she actually has a book that's titled No Shade, No Tea. And yeah, so when I listened to the poem, I was like, let's get into it, okay? Because a lot of those principles I was able to energetically see. So where I'm at, I'm not originally from here. However, I studied and observed the poetry community, at least the parts, because I haven't been to every open mic night. I'm not saying like I'm a pro or I'm well versed. I'm not even saying I'm well versed on the places that I've been. I'm not saying that at all. However, what I am well versed on is energy. That is what I am well versed on is energy. And I went to several open mics before I even performed to observe, right? To read the energy, to become familiar with some of the local poets. And I even became familiar with some of the traveling poets that come down from Philly or come from Ohio or they come from Texas or they come from New York, or, people travel down here to perform in the poetry circuit. So I became familiar with some things and some people, some faces, and then I started performing. However, a lot of what I was seeing and experiencing and reading energetically, she spoke about in her poems. Not all of it. Like I can't bear witness or vouch for all of it. However, some of it, yeah, I was able to see and read. And I thought it was very interesting. And I thought it was worthy of us unraveling it tonight, right? And we're gonna speak from a place of non-judgment because everybody has the right to desire and want for themselves and their gifts and their talents what they want. I'm not here to judge that. However, I did think that it was a topic worth unraveling or exploring on tonight's episode because poetry it is a powerful tool, right? It is a powerful tool. And I choose to utilize my gift to activate, stimulate, awaken, encourage, inspire, heal, um, and utilize it as a tool to provoke, to start, to evoke a love revolution, right? So that's how I choose to utilize my gift of writing. However, others are choosing to use it for another reason. Some are looking to ride the wave of being successful and accomplished and rich for that matter, well known for their gift. And that again, that's well within their right. So it's like you can see if you're paying attention, there would seemingly be a divide, right, of those that are doing it for a divine assignment, whereas others are doing it for earthly pleasures. And I think it's interesting to consider that um, each one still benefits the other, right? Like they kind of work in tandem, like hand in hand, because for the individual who is doing it for the material gain, when you see the poets that are doing it for a divine assignment, it may activate and stimulate something in you to where you can now incorporate your divine assignment while still experiencing the benefits of your labor, what I'm saying, of you putting in the work, for you to evolve and grow to the level that you're at, for you to receive the financial benefits or even the acknowledgments from your peers and others as well. And it also, the person who is doing it to um, secure financial gain is also a reminder to the one that's on divine assignment that we don't have to cap ourselves, right? Like, for a long time, there's been like a stigma to people who are righteous or godly or holy, whatever word you wanna put, right? That that goes hand in hand with being poor. You know what I'm saying? Like the poor righteous teacher, or, whenever you think of somebody that like was considered to be of righteousness or of a light or a beacon of the most high, they had humble beginnings and they continue to live humbly and exist humbly until they completed their assignment. However, we are now in a time where we can embrace both. You can embrace your spirituality and embrace having physical sustenance, right? Like you can live a comfortable life and be a spiritual being at the same time. You don't have to sacrifice, your comfortability in order to perform your duty or your assignment, your mission. So I thought that that was a really beautiful contrast, right? Because the reality is that many of us are shifting out of thought patterns on both sides. Like many of us are shifting out of thought patterns that no longer serve us because we are pursuing, growing, and evolving. Not everybody, however, there are some of us, and because of that, it's great to see examples of what's available because you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you lived an entire life of living a humble person and living, below your means, or, always giving to other people and, living the poor righteous teacher or the poor righteous lifestyle, then you don't even have in your mind to consider that you can actually be fruitful, like you can actually be comfortable and you can have some of the earthly pleasures excuse me, for reasons that don't keep you tied to the 3D reality or to greed or lower vibrational energies. You know what I mean? So to see people in the same genre, seemingly on the surface, on the same path as you, experiencing, the bounty that's available. It's like, wait, hold up. Because I'm with, an abundant God, right? Or source is the creator of it all. So, and the universe is always looking to give to us, right? So you start to process these things and then you start to expand your thinking and realize, wait a minute, am I am I am I sure in my own self? Like am I stopping my own self from being able to reach the stars, you know? And I thought that in her sharing it, it was a great avenue to explore thought. And these are the thoughts that I had. And I think that when we start to realize that everybody has a choice, like everybody has the free will to live how they choose to live and make the decisions that they choose to live. And none of us are the judge of those experiences or decisions for that matter, right? When we can get to the point where we can respect another person's decision, you don't have to agree from the standpoint of you wouldn't do it. However, you don't have no stock in what they do. You know what I mean? So even if it is something that somebody does that affects you, you still have a level of control of what you will accept because you still have free will too. You know what I mean? So it's like to be all up in arms or figure that you could judge somebody else's decisions because you know better for them than them, it be blowing my mind. Like it be blowing my mind, especially because I'm such a advocate for doing what resonates with you, right? What resonates with you may not resonate with me, and what resonates with me may not resonate with you because we're two separate beings. Yes, we all come from source. We all, have a fraction of the most high. We are a physical representation of a fraction of the most high. However, we're still two very distinct, individuals or two very distinct expressions of the most high. So, what's going to work for you may not work for me, and it reminds me of the saying of, what you eat don't make me fat, right? Like we're in two different bodies with two different individuals. So I think it's important to just honor and respect what resonates with that person and allow them the grace and offer them the compassion, to do what is in their mind is their path. And if you can support them, support them. However, if you're not going to support them at the very least, just leave them alone. Don't make their path harder than what it already is, because we know being here on earth is ghetto. Like it is ghetto. It is challenging, and I say it's ghetto and human because, there's divinity behind it all. However, when you just out here as a human, not realizing that you are a spiritual being having a physical experience, you are going through some things. You are going through some things, some highs, some lows, some emotions, some feelings, some disappointment, some pain, some trauma, so to make it harder on another person by you projecting your low vibrational judgmental energy towards them, it doesn't do anybody any good. And because the universal law is, what you give you also receive, right? And the sister to that is the law of karma. What you put out you get back. It's like, why would you give those lower vibrations knowing that it's going to come back to you? Why would you, send that energy out knowing that karma, the universe is recording and it's going to come back to you? Why not just wish them well? You know what I'm saying? I say things like, I will the most high is pleased with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if the most high is pleased, if source is pleased, then what does what I think matter? It don't, and neither does what you think. So when we just focus on ourselves and being a light to those that may benefit, then that's where things in life start to lighten up. That's where things in life start to become broader. We're able to start to see things clearer, and we really start to really tap into this connection that is available to us from birthright, to the most high, to source. So the idea of utilizing your poetry as a means to live out your mission is a powerful doorway. It's a powerful tool because words in and of themselves, they carry power. Words, they have a frequency and a vibration to them when you speak them. So when you're putting out these high vibrational words into the universe, you're putting out something high vibrational, which means that you're going to receive something back high vibrational, right? The give and receive, the law of in creation of give and receive, right? And then when you think about it from karma, it's like you putting out energy to help others, to support others, to encourage others, and to also free yourself. Like let's not forget the benefit of writing poetry and sharing what it does for the individual. It's healing, you know what I mean? It's even clarifying. It is it helps build your confidence. And it helps you be rooted, you know what I'm saying, and what you know to be the case, about who you are, what your purpose is, about the Most High, about whatever it is that you're writing about. It's almost like you become a specialist to a degree, on what it is that you give your energy to most often, especially when you're doing it or expressing it from your heart. It's like you begin to expand as an individual. So, it's multiple benefits. However, all of that is the energy that you're putting out. You're letting the universe know, you're letting the Most High know, you're willing to grow, you're willing to stretch, you're willing to be uncomfortable, you're willing to be vulnerable so that other people can know that it's okay to be vulnerable too. You're willing to be uncomfortable so other people can see that they're not alone, they're not by themselves. So you're giving higher vibrational, you're putting out things that or energies that don't just serve yourself, they serve the collective, they serve the greater good, they serve others. So that same energy is going to come back to you. So for me, the way that I process and I view things, poetry is such a powerful, powerful tool. And then don't even get started about writing it down, right? People say things like, it's a spell. When you write things down, it's a spell. And, it's a lot of words that we use that have these negative connotations to them. So it's my will that when you listen and I utilize different words, that you receive them and explore them from the highest frequency, the highest perspective, the highest vibration that's available for them, right? Because that's the place that I'm speaking them from. So when you're writing, they say it's like writing a spell, right? And I would say the same principle would be like writing a decree, or like writing a contract, or writing something that it can be like once you write it, it's like concrete. Like it can be verified, like it can be looked at. When you speak it, it can be felt. However, it can never be seen, you know what I'm saying, until the words actually come into form. However, when you write it, the words can be seen. And it's like a powerful form of manifestation when you're writing things down, right? That's why they say it's like a spell. It's like a tool to use for manifestation. So like I said, poetry is such a powerful idea. I've had poems that I've written that just, came from my heart. And then I went into motion to refine it and polish it and, fine tune it and whatnot. And, play around with it, perform it one way, and then, find, certain parts where, okay, and then I might let it sit and marinate and then come back and, you know what I mean? So that it has time to breathe and, like, help it evolve. And then I come back with fresh eyes and a new perspective and more mature. And then it's complete. And then when I put it out there for the world, I put the energy out there for the world to experience. It's like I have this moment of, wow, I wrote that. Like, and not only did I write that, what I wrote about is the reality I'm living right now. It was the reality I was living then. However, it's the reality I'm living right now, and I'm bearing witness to so many different ideas that I was sharing in my poetry along my journey, to where I'm like, wow, that was like, not only was it like a living history, right? An accurate account of what was taking place in my life right then. It was also like a foreshadowing of what would come. So it bears witness to the power of writing things down, right? And the manifestation of bringing them into the physical. So yeah, man, it's poetry. It is a beautiful, beautiful avenue that people travel. It's like a road that people travel, and they're going to different destinations, right? And it's okay to go to different destinations. It's only when you are exuding the lower vibrational energies, right? Like competition. We ain't competing with each other. Like, you can't compete where you don't compare. And if we all unique, then there's no comparison. So why we competing, right? When we refuse to collaborate with people that we feel like or you may be intimidated by, like, because you could see they light, you could see they got a gift, and they really gonna, once they get it, or once they whatever, once whatever happens, right? They're gonna blow up. Now you feel intimidated and you don't want to help your brother or your sister shine. And I say brother and sister in terms of the art, right? Like, if we're all lovers of this art, we are the poets of our generation that's leaving a legacy behind for those after us, just like the poets before us, Langston Hughes, Rumi. We even lost Nikki Giovanni. Thank you. It took a moment to pull it in. Nikki Giovanni, earlier this week. There's a legacy being left behind for others to be inspired, to find the gift within them, to identify the jewel in them and let that shine. So we don't have time for competition. You know what I mean? We are the ones that's writing down the history. We are the ones that's painting the pictures of the world that we live in and what is being experienced, from love and relationships to politics to crime to family to death to love. Like, that's us. So there's no need to compete with anyone. It would be much better served for us to pay attention to what mark do we want to leave on the world? What legacy do we want to leave behind? What do we want the generations behind us to know that will serve them, that will continue to keep the moving the wheel forward? You know what I mean? To keep elevating the frequency, to keep changing the conditions and the situations that as a people we are in. What are we going to leave behind that's going to open the doorway, or floodgates for that matter, to love and the connection to the Most High and the divine? So it is my will that resonates, and it finds those that will be inspired, because your art, no matter what form, it is needed. It is important for you. If it resonates with you, that you have a divine purpose, you have a reason for being here that's larger than yourself, then I encourage you, I implore you, I am um, humbly asking for you to pursue that, because the world deserves to experience your expression, and for everything that you've endured and getting to this point, you deserve to see the fullness of who you are and the expression that you are through the medium that most resonates with you. So, um, on that note, I'm going to transition to the poem in light of the time that is left. I want to make sure I finish at close to 30 minutes as possible. This poem is called Lotus Reborn. I'm going to take a sip of my tea and I'm going to start reading it. I've had to forgive and release energy that kept me stuck, connected to folks who didn't give a fuck about me or the well being of my offspring. It was all part of a plan, though, to elevate my frequency. Now here I stand, a product of thriving and consistency. Not allowing the shit thrown to stick to my heart, that would have left scars. See, this set me apart. Little did I know my drive and determination to grow would be the very thing that kept me on course. Through all the hell and lack of remorse, from those that said I love you, all the while offering no support. No life preserver to help stabilize me from rocky waters or rough terrains. Through it all, my trust in the unseen realms remained. So I weathered the storms. And when it rained the hardest, I cloaked my tears so no one would notice. Now I've emerged from the mud as the Egyptian lotus, to be seen and treasured as the anomaly I am. From water, creations are birthed as part of the divine plan. No more pressure from the geyser. I've matured and I'm so much wiser. I can read the energy clearly, no matter what you speak to me. No longer bound by old games or roles, I rise untouched while they lose control. Their tricks won't touch what I've set free. I flow with peace. That's my decree. Dodging the traps, I stand tall and whole, guarding my peace, reclaiming my soul. My peace is mine. I move as I please, untouched by chaos, grounded in ease. In the stillness of my soul, I hear the divine call, for I am the lotus, rising above it all. Boom. Thank you all. Until the next time. Love, light, and peace.